Do we need war? What it is good for? Probably absolutely nothing. Did anyone ask the people whether they want war or not? Can we have a global vote on wars? Like for no on war, you can click here, and for yes on war, click there. Can the people rise against their so called rulers and say enough? I don't want to go to war with anyone because I believe war is stupid. It causes nothing but pain to all sides, and I believe people are basically good and are manipulated into war by brainwashing and name calling. Good guys versus the bad guys. See, all throughout history, we had these conflicts where somebody said that these guys are the bad guys and these guys are the good guys. It's the old divide and conquer tactic, you know. Maybe if we wake up to that and understand that and ask that guy or whoever is constantly pointing fingers, we might stop with pointing fingers. It is almost funny to me, for me to even, say these things because I believe we all know this. But I thought that, but obviously we don't yet. Maybe tomorrow we will. Maybe now we will. Maybe it's, just a matter of time when everybody realizes that some things like war are obsolete. Like we don't need that anymore. We have grown past that. We have so many other issues, let's say, on this planet that need our attention and work and communication and cooperation. And yet, we are still having these wars. You know, the good guys and the bad guys, the Russians, the Ukrainians, so it's the Iraqi, Iranians, Syrians, Somali, North Korea, Yugoslavia, Serbia, Palestine, Nicaragua, maybe China. Who is naming these enemies and why? Boredom, interest, hate. What? I don't. I really don't understand. Um, is it almost like there's a pattern there? Someone might have some countries might have their military industrial media complexes, machines, so that they can make anyone into the enemy at any time. So, is anyone else bored with that story? You know, how about we just don't go to war? How about we just think about what else we could do to make things better on this planet? Uh, Perhaps understand that we could do better than war. Maybe, maybe it's in our psychology that we are in a constant struggle with ourselves, with the others around us, so that we have differences in opinions, in the way we look at things, our cultures, languages, I don't know, skin color, religion, all those things that in a certain way divide us, make us different. But wouldn't it be boring if everything were, just black and white, and or just white or just black? You know, maybe we need some kind of other uh, game to play, like kids games, like play video games of war and not really go into war, because they only lead to destruction and, as I said, pain for a lot of people, and that's probably unnecessary when you stop and think about it. So it's a question of what can be achieved by that, and why is that necessary to have these conflicts. Like, we can't have talks, dialogues open on other issues, and there are a ton of issues that we could other issues that we could talk about, like energy sources, how to live in a more balanced way, psychology, physics, biology, how to evolve, how to maybe find ways to talk to each other, no matter how painful that is sometimes, to forget about history a little bit, to forgive, and then after that, forgiveness probably happens. To understand that we are all here on this planet and that we are all just, constantly looking for answers. We don't quite understand what's going on from time to time, and maybe we need some clarity of mind or whatnot. So why didn't all the wars stop when nations had nukes? That's also a question I would ask. Or maybe we could stop now that everything can be done with a click of a button. That kind of makes the war games obsolete. Maybe we should talk about economies and what's going on there, pollution, many more important issues that we have today. Maybe we should return to bows and arrows, like funny. Maybe that would make things ridiculous even more. Maybe it's something inherent in the male aggression, I don't know, about power, domination, stuff like that. Maybe it's time to evolve from that, time to understand that. Those things about, the power struggles, national or ethnic or religious or whatever feuds, don't actually get us anywhere good. Instead of talking about, let's say, the things that we consider the good sides and the bad sides of religions or segregations or ghettos or whatever, maybe, see, who are we and who are they? Well, it's one of the questions that we could ask ourselves, like when somebody says we should go to war with these guys, they're the bad guys. Why should anybody do that? So, should we hate one another, like the segregations of East and West and North and South? And, there are a whole lot of differences in these divisions that we have. Should we hate one another, like in that level? Or should we hate the leaders of some countries? How can a country be blamed? That's like saying a child being born in a certain country is to be blamed for the bad things that are being done in their own behalf. Is that child even responsible for being born at a certain place at a certain time. Questions, all questions. So are nations actually boring, stupid, and obsolete concepts? One of the questions. Who drew the lines of our nation states, when, why, and are the lines between us even real? Now that we have internet especially, and all these means of communication, it's getting, I think, more and more ridiculous to the younger generations. All the stories that we are being told about, how we should go to war with these guys. So then we have a situation where kids are shooting up kids. So does it really matter what color, nation, religion they are? What place or nationality they have been born in? What is the price tag on human life anyway? Is it the same everywhere? Is profit from weapons more important than one or any human life? Is the profit to blame? Like profiteering from guns and manufacturing bombs and stuff that, the people that make these weapons have jobs, obviously. Is the problem there, so that the people that are working in that war industry will lose their jobs, armies, whatnot? I gotta say, I wouldn't be crying a lot for those people, because once upon a time you had to be enslaved to create stuff like that. I don't know whether we are still in the ghettos of history or concentration camps, or who is, why do we still have jobs like that even? Like, historically speaking, is there a Hitler today? Is Nazism, fascism dead, or it never actually left the building, just changed names or countries? Are we all a little bit like that? And why? Is it a joke? Is it something that we should be joking about more than actually taking it seriously? Is it some historical wounds, confrontations that we had? I don't know. So, is it a fact that when people, when a bunch of men get together, they become involved in one ideology, so they become Nazis, gangsters, terrorists, or whatever? Also, probably. What ever happened to a good old-fashioned fist fight? Why don't people just solve their issues like that? Maybe a nationwide, nation versus nation in, face to face, no guns, no weapons needed. Do we really need to fight anyway? Is it like live and let live, and should be called fight and let fight? I'm just asking questions here. So, it's the 21st century, obviously, but we still have these ancient, I would say, ways of dealing with issues. And is it really a money issue, or an energy issue, or a lack of ideas? Should we go deeper into questions? Why do we do this anyway? Is it some kind of a power struggle? What exactly is the problem here? Can we talk about it? Can we resolve it in another way? Can we make like a worldwide peace treaty and rebuild all the shit that has been done all across the globe? You know, a lot of destruction, a lot of destructive conflicts still going on maybe today and have been for some time, and maybe we should join forces in that way to rebuild the stuff that has been broken in a nice and, you know, humane kind of way. Is it really that hard to imagine, let alone ask, that people could possibly get together on this? Or maybe we just didn't talk about it that much. You know, there is a lot of work on this planet to be done, and I don't think war is one of them. See, there are kids now watching almost everything that we do, so we shouldn't forget that. And some of them might think that war is normal. Can war be normal? Is it? Who is normalizing war and how? Again, maybe we could separate and say everyone who wants to go to war on one side and all the smart ones on the other, you know. So we need to maybe rethink what we are doing and why, and maybe there are other ways to make money. There are a lot of other ways. So maybe it's up to the guys who are creating all this to reconsider, to have a talk, and perhaps, you know, have an agreement on rebuilding this planet and all the things that we have destroyed so far. So, you know, in the comments you can say whatever you think about all of these ideas, questions. You may want to answer them and think for yourselves, you know. Maybe I will put some kind of a voting booth in the comment section. That's it for now. Bye.